Nothing wastes time and energy faster than chasing down late payments. The good news, most of these headaches can be prevented if your contract is clear from the start. Hi, I'm Kiff, your friendly legal eagle behind the artist JD. Today we're talking payment terms that protect your cash flow and keep client relationships professional. If you're tired of sending awkward payment reminders, hit like now. Most late payments start with unclear terms. If your payment schedule is vague or not tied to deliverables, clients can delay without consequences. The truth is that contracts without real payment clarity equals awkward conversations and shaky cash flow. Because while money is emotional, your payment terms shouldn't be. How do you write payment terms that don't result in this shaky cash flow and awkward conversations? You start with the most important information. What's due and when. And you write it in simple, plain, clear English. In the last video, I talked about how I recommend a contract cover page. And on that cover page, you put those important details that clients care about so they don't have to hunt and peck and find them in your contract. They can just scan that nice, simple, plain English, big headers, bulleted list and see those things necessary that they're going to get from you and you need from them to move the project forward. And payment terms are one of those things that should be on that cover page. Your payment terms, just like everything in your contract, should match your business and your workflow. It shouldn't just match the calendar. So while you should tie payments to something trackable, to maybe a deliverable or something like that, you just need to be consistent. So if you want to tie it to a milestone like 50% is due prior to design delivery, then you can do that. If you're working more on a retainer model and you want to say payment is due on the first of every month, then you can do that. You just need to be consistent in your contract and have things either tied to milestones or tied to calendar dates. Don't mix and match them because then that gets confusing. Now, another little lawyer tip is that when I write contracts for clients, I always tie the payment to be that my client gives them something after they make the payment. So if they're going to get the final design files, then payment is due before those final design files are delivered. Because the client has incentive to pay because they want the deliverable. Once you've given them the final deliverable, they no longer have that same incentive to pay you because they got what they wanted. And so if you tie it to as soon as you pay that payment invoice, within one business day, those files will be released, you are much more likely to get clients who pay on time because they want the outcome that they hired you for. They want that final product. And so you are able to incentivize them to make that payment by making sure that you're delivering something after they pay. If you want short, client-friendly payment reminders that back up these terms without burning bridges, then in day one of the Copy-Paste Legal Week, I give you those exact email scripts. Join using the link below. When it comes to late payments, if you're in that boat of maybe doing things on a retainer basis or needing to deliver some files or some deliverables before that payment is made, and you're dealing with a late payment situation, there's a couple ways to handle that. One way to handle it is to say that you reserve the right to pause all work for that client once their payment is late. Some people will put in some sort of a grace period in there, like payment that's more than 5 days late, we reserve all right to pause all work. So you can give them a little bit of a grace period. Some people will use a restart fee when it comes to this kind of thing of if I've paused work because you paid late, then I'm going to maybe charge you a $150 restart fee or something like that. The thing that most people get wrong, however, is they do something that violates their state's usury laws. Usury laws say how much we as private citizens can charge interest for late payments. And so you need to make sure that the number that is, if you're going to say a late fee of 10% will be charged, that might be illegal under your state's usury laws. Like, for example, I'm a licensed attorney in California. California works out to 0.83% a month. Now, sometimes clients want to put that bigger number in there to kind of incentivize clients to pay on time. But if you do put that bigger number in there, then you need to know that's not going to be enforceable if you take the client to court to try to collect those late payments. So that's just something to keep in mind, that if you put in a number bigger than that in your contract, you might not actually be able to collect it. The court may either lower that number to what's legally allowed under state law, or may strike that provision out entirely because it was too big. So these payment clauses aren't about scaring clients. They're just about giving you leverage to protect your time and cash flow. If you're ready to test these clauses out in your contract, drop cash flow in the comments so I can see and support you as you do it. Next time, we're talking about refunds and reschedules and how to stop those last-minute surprises from hitting your wallet or ruining your schedule.